Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, being here, being you. Be the best you. There's only one of you here. And thank you for sharing your time with me and being a part of my dream and my journey. Is it my intro or your intro? Like
I don't know who need to hear this, but on some real shit, you gotta be nicer to yourself, baby. This all our first time living here. We on a floating rock. I need you to take a step back and allow yourself to just exist. Breathe, bitch.
But hi. We are going to talk about today. Juneteenth has just passed, so happy Juneteenth to all of my black people. I don't give a fuck about the mixed politics and all that stuff. I don't care. If you black, you black. Happy Juneteenth, you know. And especially if your ancestors were slaves, like, happy Juneteenth. Like, so, but I just wanted to have a little chit chat because I feel like right now we have it easier than our ancestors. And I feel like we don't take full advantage of that as people and as a community, because like in terms of like compared to our ancestors and stuff, we're really weak. We are weak. Like, we don't stand up for nothing. Our ancestors were standing up for stuff, you know, being able to protest, being able to pull people in their own communities to like not ride the bus or not go somewhere. They were able to come together to, you know, fight racism and fight their odds and everything like that. And nowadays we can't even like sit up and stand up for ourselves. We can't even like boycott fucking McDonald's. But it's like, yo, we have it so easy. But it's like us black people will continue to be in the past, and there's nothing wrong with that. The past has brought a lot, okay? Generational trauma, generational cycles, mental illness, disease, you know, it has brought a lot. But like, we're not there anymore, and black people were always like the last, like we're always behind. And you know, it makes sense, like our psyche is different, our souls are different, our DNA is different. But it's like, y'all, we have it easier than our ancestors. Like, there has never been a better time than right now to be a black person. Like, you can literally do whatever you want. And then on top of that, with COVID, with how the economy is, like, you can do whatever you want. Make your own rules. Like, there's no massa, you know. We're not on fields and stuff. We're not getting whipped. There is still some sundown towns and people are still getting lynched, though, unfortunately. But there is a lot of racism still going on, for sure. There still is a lot of discrimination and, you know, hate crimes and stuff, of course. But in terms of like history, y'all, you could do whatever you want. If you want to get up right now and do something, you could just get up and do it. You could invest your resources into it. You can invest your money into it. We are able to own things now, and we're able to enjoy life for real. Like, but I see so many people who is either still stuck, or I guess maybe they haven't comprehended that yet, because, you know, we'll still talk about like, oh, the struggles of being black in America, and that's true. We do need to talk about that. We also need to keep up with our history and making sure that we are continuously telling our youth so that they could tell their youth, because as time and generations continue to go on and come, old ones are obviously leaving and they're not going to be alive to fully tell the story. So we had to keep our history alive and everything like that. But I mean, like, compared to our ancestors, we have it very easy, and we're not taking full advantage of that. Not too many people want to go for their dreams. Not too many people really understand that, like, if you don't like your job, like, you can quit. You don't have to work so hard. Like, there's just so many outdated things that we're continuing that just doesn't need to be outdated. You know, you don't need to be eating chitlins. I understand that's maybe a delicacy and people actually do like the taste of them, but like, we don't have to eat chitlins, you know. We don't have to eat that no more. We don't have to like come home before the street lights come out. Like, But it's crazy because I feel like they broke down our psyche so much and put in so much fear that, like, I honestly understand why we're still like that and why we're still like holding on to our youth, you know? Like, it is scary to think about somebody taking your black child, or, you know, racism still being alive like it is. But on the other side, and on the brighter side, like, we have so much that we can do now that our ancestors couldn't. And the fact that our ancestors literally did not have as many resources as we did, they didn't have social media, they didn't have phones, they didn't have internet, and they were still able to come together and stand up, and we cannot, is mind-blowing to me. And I'm gonna bring up the Epstein files every time. Y'all can't even boycott Beyonce and Jay-Z. Y'all can't even boycott Diddy and all his affiliates. Y'all let Young Miami song go viral and get on the Billboard. Where the fuck did you think she got that song? From Diddy. Like, we can't even like just stand up for simple stuff like that, just to not intake somebody's art, or maybe just to not, you know, don't pay to go there. Instead, you could pay and give back. Like, we don't be thinking like that. I feel like obviously more of us are thriving, and, you know, black love, black businesses, like, we are thriving and everything. But man, we really do have a long way to go. And once again, that's okay though. Once you have like everything has been broken down, you do have to create a new culture, you do have to create new identities and stuff, and figure out which way to go. And it is hard doing something on your own that maybe nobody before you has done, because you don't really have too much like physical in-person guidance. You really do be having to like just lean on yourself, you know. So like, things are hard, things do suck, but oh my gosh, y'all, we cannot let that like drive us down in life, you know. We cannot let that continue to be our story. We cannot continue telling those stories. We cannot continue being negative and stuff like that. We cannot continue killing each other. We cannot continue doing things that the government wants us to do. We cannot continue being sleep. Like, y'all talk so much about Jesus, especially in my community. We talk so much about Jesus coming back. Baby, you are Jesus. When are you going to understand that these people brainwashed you and you are Jesus? You're Jesus. Yeah. Jesus is a normal human being. It's me and it's you. Yeah. Yeah. Like, these people would just try to convince you something else so that you don't serve your own God, and your own God should be your own self, right? Because think about it. If you have the energy to pray to your own God, your own self, your own subconscious, or your own type of altar, right? If you were given like all that energy there, instead of giving energy and praying to their God and their system, you know, they're the ones that's getting this energy that you really should be pouring into yourself. And I hate when black people always want to like fight for God, and, you know, they'd be like, oh, God is not a woman, that's disrespectful. Oh, this and that, that's disrespectful. Like, what? You are under spells, baby. Like, Christianity is not for black people at all. Christianity was made for you and our ancestors to be comfortable with slavery, you know. But sometimes I sit and I think, like, wow, if an ancestor was sitting in front of me, and I don't mean a grandma or a great grandma, because I had those people in my life. Some of them are dead though, rest in peace. But if I think back to like a real ass ancestor's, like 100 years ago as ancestor, 200 years ago, and they're sitting here looking at me, I always think about what would I want to tell them about what I'm doing right now, you know. Like, I don't want to sit here and tell them I'm doing the same shit they did. I want them to look at me like, literally, like, eyes like, you're doing what? And what is this? Like, yes, girl, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, we're able to do this. Like, I would want to speak that into my ancestors, you know. I would want to show them just how much strength and everything has gotten passed down to me. Like, yeah, girl, we standing up for this, we standing up for that. Like, I'm not off white people ass, and like, like, me and my ancestors would have a time, and I feel like my ancestors would be very proud of me. And I'm grateful that I have like my thinking in my brain. But as always, I always just want to come on here and help other people and tell people, hopefully, like, my words will help somebody else like light bulb go off. Because like, think about that, y'all, in your everyday choices and stuff. Think about what choice would like an ancestor really want to make here. Because even with, and I had to bring it up again, even with marriage and kids, you know, we're so busy looking at the past and everything like that, that we're not really looking and understanding how can we change this. Because, you know, a lot of times our ancestors had kids and stuff because they had to have them. They didn't have abortions, they didn't have birth control, you know, it was just them and they farm. They had to have these kids, so they just kept popping out kids. You know, some men were even manipulative and just, you know, was getting a woman knocked up so that they woman wasn't doing, you know. But all of that is still going on today, you know. And yeah, our ancestors got through it, our parents get through it, they raised all of us, and we turn out fine. But we really don't turn out fine. Well, not we. But y'all really don't turn out fine, you know. And if your ancestor was sitting here, I'm pretty sure your ancestor would be like, baby, you should do something different. You got all these resources, healthcare, you could get an abortion. Don't bring that kid into this world. Look at me. Like, I'm pretty sure our ancestors would be saying that stuff. And sometimes even myself, I be thinking I'm like an ancestor, or I feel like I'm a vessel for God and the ancestors to talk through me. And I'm so grateful for that. But like, sometimes it'd be so frustrating. Because I'd be like, y'all, they not getting it. They not getting it, y'all. Y'all, they think I'm crazy. And it's so funny because like my ancestors and got it, they just be like looking at me like, you think we give a fuck? This ain't about you, like, bitch. You just need to keep doing what you're doing, like, you know. But our ancestors would be so proud of us, but they will also do so much more with what we have. We had 21-year-olds coming together and building a Black Panther Party that was across America. Multiple different clubs and cities were doing it, all because of 21-year-olds. But it's crazy because it's like, now it's like we are going backwards. The reading thing, like people not reading no more. Kids can't read, and obviously if you can't read and write, what are you gonna come together and do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't read and write and you're not reading books from like Malcolm X, you're not reading books from generations before us, you're not reading books about how these white people really treated us, of course you're gonna just keep walking by life like life is nothing. But no, you guys, as Black people, we are so fucking powerful. We're so powerful and beautiful and amazing that these white people literally did everything plus some to tear us down and keep us back. And I'm not even gonna get into that because I have another video coming out on why I will not get off white people's asses. So we'll get into that in that video. But when you think about things like that, they're literally trying to make you into an ancestor. And I'm not saying our ancestors were dumb, but low-key, they couldn't read or write. You know, they were illiterate. Do you want to be illiterate? And then, of course, when you're illiterate, all you can do is listen to somebody else. You could be illiterate and be like, come on, read this for me. I could read whatever I want to read off of that to you because you don't know what the fuck. Like, you don't know? Same thing with translating, right? If I speak Chinese and you speak English and my mama just said some rude ass shit in Chinese, I'm not gonna tell you my mama said that shit. You know? But it's like, y'all, your ancestor, all of us, even if you ain't doing shit, okay, you're still your ancestors' wildest dream. Because look at where we are. We do have freedom. We're not slaves. In some ways, we ain't gonna get into that though. We're not slaves. You know, we are owning houses. We are able to rent. We do have credit scores. Like, you know, to our ancestors, all of this just straight off the bat is like, wow, amazing. But y'all, we could do a little bit more. And I understand, you know, generational fatigue, but yeah, if you got time to sit here and complain, you got time to sit here and do a little something to change. Like, you are your ancestors' wildest dream. Do something with it. Show something for it. Something, y'all. But y'all just want to keep continuing this and continuing that. And, you know, when somebody tries to bring up an alternative to better your life, all of a sudden we're the villain. Like, y'all, we got to stop that. We have to stop that. We need to continue hearing each other out. We need to continue helping each other, putting each other on. We need to continue healing, especially Okay, black people, you should be in therapy. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you got God and your Bible. I don't give a fuck if you pray 100 times a day. I don't give a fuck if you feel like you had no problems. I don't give a fuck if you came out the best neighborhood with the best parents, with the best education. I don't give a fuck. Because generational trauma and generational stories is real, and it expresses through your DNA in each moment. So black people need to be in therapy, okay? You need to be talking to somebody, telling them about your experiences, telling them about what you feel, telling them about how do you feel being a black person. Like, sometimes when you're reading all this stuff and we're getting to know our history, or even go through everyday life, sometimes you do feel like sometimes being black is tiring. Like, it's tiring. Like, damn, I gotta go out here and go into a world that seemingly is making it harder for me, right? Because you do make up your own rules, you do make up your own life. So life do not have to be hard just because they try to tell you that, you know? But yeah, like, sometimes it do. Well, not for me, it don't be tiring. But I can understand how it could be tiring. Because especially when you work in a job and stuff, or if you around so many white people, you're like the only black person, it's like, here we go. You know, so like, I get that. But yeah, like, you should talk to a therapist about this stuff. And talk to a therapist about your views on children and marriage and relationships, friendships, anything that you do, your hobbies and stuff. Like, talk to somebody about it. Like, we have so much trauma that we just trying to push on and be strong for, that it's like, you don't have to be strong. You don't have to be God's strongest soldier. Like, no, tell God you need a damn break. Stop it. I'm telling y'all, tell him that I'm done with this shit. I want a nice, easy life. Shit. Some stuff you gotta let it out, and you gotta talk to people. So yes, black people, you should be in therapy, and you should be in therapy with people that look like you. If you're a black man, get a black man therapist. If you're a black woman, get a black woman therapist. If you can't find either, then switch it around, get a black man, but it should be black. Get somebody black to talk to. Get somebody that's gonna understand you. You don't have to code change and all that stuff. Like, go to therapy. We should be in therapy. And we should have our kids in therapy, because there truly is so much that we have endured that continues to live through us, that it's our responsibility. And I know some people are probably like, but I didn't ask for this. Whatever. You want to keep being a victim? Bye. Booty. Go. But if you don't, yes, it's your responsibility now, and you can do it. You can do it, and I can say that because I did it, and I'm continuously doing it. Every day is something new, you know. But you can do it. Okay. Once again, our ancestors did not have the books and the tools and the therapists and stuff to help. You do. So get up off your ass, and by helping yourself, you are helping the people that came before you and after you. Don't let these white people keep brainwashing y'all and doing all this shit and telling you who you are and what to... Stop, okay? We are back to take over the world. But to take over the world, you got to take care and take over your own world. So, your brain, right? But yeah, how was you guys' Juneteenth? I had a great Juneteenth. I just went to like lunch/breakfast. Well, brunch, yeah. With my sister. And then I just like... I did watch Love Island. I watched like half of it. I was like, this shit is boring. And then I came back and watched the other half. And then I watched Is God Is. I love that movie. 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, watch it. And so yeah, that's all I'm gonna leave for right now. Like I said, I will have another video coming out, you know, in terms of like why we as black people honestly should not have even forgiven white people. Like, we should still be on their necks full throttle, like. But we'll get into that. I just really wanted to come on here and say that in some ways you do have it easier than your ancestors, and we should just take full advantage of that. We should continue to love each other. We should continue to be there for each other. You know, before, you know, we were all together, they broke us up, so now we're working to come back together, you know. But continue to do that. Continue to be around your brothers and your sisters and connect and everything like that if you can. Your kids should be around other black kids. You know, I'm all for diversity, but like, your kids should be around other black kids as well, or other minorities. Family is important. As much as we all want to be like, oh, I don't need them, you know, like, it is important. It is who you are, and they are your stories. Nobody's saying you have to be the closest, but family is important, especially if you have kids or people coming after you. It is important. Let's see what else. Yeah, we just gotta do better, man. We just gotta stand up, y'all. We gotta continue standing up. And I don't even be wanting to say that, because who knows what black people are really doing, you know. Like, I'm not everywhere all at once. I'm in my community living my life. You might be in your community and looking at me like, bitch, we out here doing this shit. Well, let me know, okay? But yeah, our ancestors had it way harder, but for some reason we're still able to get up and do something. We got it easier, and we ain't doing shit but sitting on our asses scrolling on TikTok. It is what it is. Okay, I love you guys. Continue being safe, continue being black. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And yeah, continue being safe outside and responsible. Don't drink and drive. Don't take unknown substances. You know, it's important and a blessing to make it back home. I love you guys. Leave any comments that you want to leave, you know. And I do have other videos out here talking about black people, our history, etc., etc. I can't think right now, but I definitely do have a lot of like activist type of posts on here. Just let me know if you want to see, or if you want me to talk about anything more, and I would definitely like link it to you or let you know, because we got to keep going. We got to keep like progressing, not regressing, you know. So yeah, I love you guys. Bye.